Hello, it's Stuart the Unrepentant Atheist, and something a bit different today. So I don't know whether you will find this interesting or not, but I picked up 2 pamphlets from some Jehovah's Witnesses in the streets today, and I just thought I'd bring them back and do a bit of a reaction video with them. So I've got 2 of them. One is entitled, "Should You Believe in a Creator? You Decide." There's that one. And the other one is on origin of life. So let's have a look at this one first. How can you decide? We've got a picture there of a young woman being offered a Bible or a strand of DNA, obviously theology versus science, religion versus science. So they seem to be very much, I'm familiar with a lot of these arguments. Just read out some of this. The universe continues to astonish astronomers, and they have never had better tools to use in analyzing it. What have they discovered? The universe is fine-tuned to support life. The universe has an ideal home for humans. What life tells us, and then there's a picture of a cell there. Yeah, how complex a basic cell is. They've got a yeast cell here, saying that we've got all this complexity. It couldn't have come out of chaos. It's too well organized and too complex. We've got DNA, which is information. It's like a code. It must have had a coder. And we've got some actual scientists here. All right, got George Koidan. My work involves assembling molecules. It's like playing chess, etc., etc. My work is complicated. It is simple compared to the thousands of chemical reactions that happen inside living cells to produce complex chemical molecules. That leads me to believe that there must be a great chemist, a creator. When I studied the Bible, I realized it was not an ordinary book. The Bible was completed almost 2,000 years ago, but I feel that its advice is just as valuable today. What it says about settling disputes in the family, at work, and with neighbors really works. I came to the conclusion that only someone who possesses a superior intelligence can give such trustworthy counsel. And then there's an embryologist, Yan De Su. As an embryo develops, all cells must cooperate with one another. The mechanism that regulates the development of an embryo is far beyond our understanding. The way I see it, life must have come from an intelligent designer. Okay. What the Bible tells us, has the universe always existed? Up until the second half of the 20th century, many prominent scientists believed that the universe always existed, but based on more recent discoveries, most scientists now acknowledge that our universe did in fact have a beginning. I wonder why it is then that so few of those scientists actually believe in God. Okay, so that's more or less it with this pamphlet. Let's have a look at the other one, on the origin of life. This one is a lot more skewed towards evolution. A student's dilemma. Peter, his parents are religious. They believe in the creation story, and he's got scientists saying different things. Who should he believe? The Bible warns against blindingly believing what others teach. Oh, the irony. Anyone in experience puts faith in every word, states one Bible writer, but the shrewd one considers his steps. The Bible encourages Christians to use their power of reason and to prove to themselves the things they are taught. This brochure is not designed to support the efforts of religious groups who want to have creation taught in schools. The purpose of this brochure is to examine claims made by those who teach that life appeared spontaneously and assert that the Bible's account of creation is a myth. Okay, well, make of that what you will. I'd be interested in your comments on that. I could comment on that, but I'm not going to, because I think that quite often we see claims that, oh well, we're not saying all this because we want creationism taught in schools. I wonder how honest that really is. How did life begin? Got abiogenesis. Picture of the cell. Where did the first self-replicating cell come from? Did it really come out of complete chaos, as scientists claim, etc., etc.? The thing about this self-replicating cell is that if you consider, I've often thought, yeah, it's quite something. But it did come out. It did. I mean, apparently, it did. It did come out of natural forces, from what I've been able to gather. Wouldn't rule out a god, but I haven't seen any evidence to really establish that it is a god. But when people say, "Oh, it's like 10 trillion to one against that really happening," all the, right chemicals coming together and getting exactly the right sequence for this self-replicating cell to start life off. Oh, such high odds, it just can't have happened. But bear in mind, we had hundreds of millions of years with trillions upon trillions of chemical reactions going on, and it's not, for me, beyond the bounds of possibility that eventually trillions of these reactions down the line in different types of conditions, that it could have happened, and apparently it did happen. It's amazing, but that seems to be how it is, unless somebody can prove that there was actually a god up there that did it all. We've got pictures of DNA. Is any form of life really simple? So the argument from complexity, but I don't know. I mean, I personally think that advanced design leads to simplicity, not complexity. So I think they've got that wrong. But I didn't really want to use this video to debunk, really start going through these and picking them apart, just to show you what's in it. Where did the instructions come from, you see? Well, I suppose if there are instructions there must be an instructor, and that instructor must be God. There's DNA. I mean, they make it look very scientific. They explain how complex the DNA is, but I mean, there are books on intelligent design, and from what I've been able to see, what they do is basically they just say, this is how complex life is. Do you really believe that all came from chance? I don't know. It seems to me like a very kind of simplistic argument. And then they start talking about the fossil record. It's nowhere near complete. We're not justified in anything like this kind of scheme because we just haven't got the fossils to prove it. I don't know how far that's true, because I personally have not gone and actually analyzed it, and I'm not an expert. So I, to an extent, rely on the experts. It seems to me that all the universities out there are teaching evolution. I believe that Origin of the Species is required reading on a biology degree, and no, the Bible is not required reading on a biology degree. There must be a good reason for that, and the reason for that is that it must be Darwin, and the theory of evolution must be scientifically sound from the evidence, from an evidential point of view. I don't want to go any further on that because I don't want to start. I didn't make this video with the intention of debunking what's in here, really just to show you what is in here. The only thing that did disappoint me is that this is put out by the Jehovah's Witnesses, and there's nothing really in here about what the Jehovah's Witnesses specifically believe, because I mean there are lots of denominations that believe in this stuff, creationism. So that was a bit disappointing. If I see them tomorrow, I might say, oh, do you have anything on the actual Jehovah's Witnesses, what you particularly believe? Because what you gave me yesterday is, if you don't mind me saying, creationist propaganda. So that's about it. Let me know what you think of that. I guess a lot of you guys have looked through this stuff as well. Do you have any commentary on it at all? I don't know. I mean, I could only say that anybody who would be convinced with the material in here and disregard the bulk, the vast wealth of academia that we've got and the scientific method, for me it would have to be a failure in critical thinking to accept the argument for creationism based on what's in here, because at the very least, if I did find it compelling, I would then want it to be checked out by actual biologists and physicists, etc., and say, oh, can you comment on what's in here, because they make a lot of claims and they show the evidence in a particular way. And, could you give me another view, because I'm not too confident with my science in order to accept the claims here. So that's what I would do. But okay. Thanks for watching. I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye for now.